Welcome back to Color Class. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Lucinda.
And today we're going to be talking about kind of this hidden stress of wearing the wrong colors. Why some outfits that you put on, some of those shades just feel off versus when you do have on the right clothes, you just feel a little bit more energized.
Good. You feel good.
Yeah, but we're going to talk about the psychology of what happens when those colors are feeling off. And if you've had a color analysis and you just, at the end of it, you're like, those colors just, something feels
They
wrong.
don't feel like me.
Right. I would never wear them. I don't enjoy them. This one's for you.
We've done hundreds of color analyses, and they've all been custom and just carefully edited and taken to the nth degree in terms of the right shades. And what we hear two things.
Okay.
One thing is fantastic, and we just love hearing it. And it's basically when somebody says, "Oh, I love my colors. I finally feel seen."
Mm-hmm. And that usually is after a bunch of other color analysts did their seasons, something felt off.
Well, the second thing they say, and that started this whole, that started the research.
I gave it all away.
No, she's perfect. Our customers say, I had my colors done a while back, or I had my colors done many times. Our most recent client said, I had them done way back. But then they say, the colors that I was given, the reason I came to you is they just felt off. And if we've heard this once, we have heard this 1,000 times. Mm-hmm. Not looked off, felt off. In fact, I don't remember a client ever saying my colors looked off.
Right.
Do you?
No.
Never.
That's why we're here.
Yeah. And so that word felt, it kind of hit me. Like, why are they saying felt off rather than looked off? Mm-hmm. And when somebody says something looks off, or, you think your color analysis, that's about aesthetics, visual harmony. I'm a painter. I was like, it's always about aesthetics.
It's how it looks.
Yeah. Whatever. But if they're saying something felt off, they're describing a body response, right?
Yes.
So I assigned Sarah to do some research.
So the science behind why we hear felt off versus looked off is because the brain is fundamentally a pattern-seeking machine. And I'm quoting that right now, and then we'll get into what that actually means.
Well, we just slightly off topic, but
yes.
On topic. We've done videos, recently did a video on color optical illusions.
Yes.
And how much influence your brain has over what you're seeing. Mm-hmm. So back to you.
Well, it is a lot. And it's constantly trying to make sense of what it sees. So I like to say our rods and cones are kind of doing like these magic tricks on us. It's all about the rods and cones and the color we see. Exactly. It's not actually what we're seeing. Everything is happening and processing in our brains.
Your brain is trying to make sense of it all. It wants harmony.
Of course it does.
Pattern recognition. It wants everything to look kind of correct.
Mm-hmm. Of a piece. Harmonious.
Right. Which is why when we have an experiment that we do visually, we've taken the same woman and we've simply adjusted her hair color. Ash blonde and golden blonde. And then we say to people, does her face and makeup look warmer with the golden blonde hair? And what do people tell us?
You know what? I'm going to tag the video above before we answer that.
Okay. But what they tell us is, oh yeah, her hair, her skin is much warmer. Makeup, the whole thing is much warmer with her golden hair. Then we pick up a square out of her face, as big a square as we can get, and take it over to the other version of her, drop it in. The skin, the hair, the makeup is identical.
Exactly the same. Everything's the same except the hair color.
Right. That's the brain telling your eyes, hey, we got to make harmony between this gold hair and this not so gold skin. So we're going to make it look golden. Mm-hmm. And that, if you've been watching us, what is that called? simultaneous contrast.
You'll hear that word, and everything is relative a lot here on color class.
Yeah. Basically, it's your brain telling you this isn't, you're not really seeing what you think you're seeing. You're seeing this.
I'm going to show you what you're seeing.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you what to see. Bossy brain. Continue with your scientific lecture.
Well, I don't even remember where we are, so I'm going to start back from kind of the beginning. In visual neuroscience, there's something called processing fluency. And you're probably like, what is that? Well, it is something easy for the brain to interpret. Now, here with colors, which we talk about a lot, we like them coherent, we like them harmonious, aligned, predictable. We love that. Our brain wants that because what does it do? It calms us down. It makes us feel good inside. And when everything's just chaotic and thrown around, it gives us chaos. It's like a dirty room.
Right. Oh, well, I don't care. But do you know what else it's doing? It's working harder because your brain is doing that thing it does with that blonde, those two blondes. Mm-hmm. It's going, okay, I got to make this. I'm going to make this. I'm going to make this harmonious because you didn't. Mm-hmm. And so it's working. Mm-hmm. That's where you get the stress.
You know what? I'm reading a book about habits right now. Mm-hmm. Or I should say I'm listening to a book about habits. And it's kind of like that. Like your body builds these habits, but without being a habit, and you're getting dressed in the morning and these colors are disorienting and it exhausts us.
And your brain.
Yes.
Your brain gets exhausted.
Right.
From what it's looking at. Yes.
Yeah. So, calm down, get a color analysis.
Well, let's step it back and just say, if you have harmony, if you're trying to have harmony,
right,
that gives your brain a break. Mm-hmm. Because picture yourself, in the messy room. I see that as a room full of potential and potential projects that I can work on and paint possible paintings and possible sketches. So
you already sound chaotic talking about it.
My brain must be losing its mind. Oh, it is.
She's like, no, I love disorganization. I'm over here like, nope, we love organization. We need it. I need a calm, clean brain.
She does. And what's ironic is her husband is even further on that spectrum where everything has to be organized and in its place and out of sight and he actually gets physically stressed.
Yes.
You can see it.
He said this morning. He was talking about it this morning.
What did he say?
He was just saying, like, I cannot handle all of the stuff. Like, it stresses me out. And I'm like, yes. And there's like markers, crayons, of course, my child and my other child here is like,
and I'm teaching her. I'm teaching the little one to be and
I'm just like throwing everything into a bin.
And my son-in-law, who I adore, will walk past my car and you'll see him. He'll kind of look in and then
the car is a different story.
But he will say to me, he goes, your car is looking a little messed up inside. And I say, I will fix that for you because I want you to be nice and unstressed. And he goes, you got to do it for you because it's dangerous with you got those things balancing up here where you're...
I was going to say, how is that going for you right now?
I'm working on it. No, actually, I'm trying to decide if I need to take this big container that I have in the back of my car and put staples in it in case there's a natural disaster and take it to my my storage unit.
You know what's so funny is if you knew her, I thought she meant staples as in like, I was like, I'm not going to question the fact, why do you have like a billion staples? Because that is something you would have.
Food staples, like this, like your go bag, whatever you need in case you have a natural disaster.
I like how the only thing is food and some other things.
Maybe some water. I don't know.
That's food. We got priorities.
But the reason it's taking me so long to get this kind of worked out in my head and then clean out my cards because I'm trying to decide, do I want to even do this? Is it even necessary? You know, what do I need? What? Sorry, we're off topic. Let's bring it back into why you get stressed out dealing with a bunch of chaos.
My husband's going to love this video.
Your brain senses chaos, and by chaos we mean disharmony or something about you where your own personal characteristics don't match your clothing, and it starts to become stressful. Now, I don't mean the kind of stress that's like, oh, you want to go to bed, because you're just so stressed out. I mean micro-stressed, just little irritating somethings, which cause people to say, I got all these colors, I bought all these colors, and they just didn't feel right. That kind of just a little bit of something. You just have to give your brain a little rest.
We're giving it a little love.
Right. You're removing friction.
Yeah.
For your noggin. And once you do that, you'll stop feeling like you walk in a room and you feel slightly exposed, like something's not. I've done it 1,000 times, and I know what I do when I know that I'm not quite in the. I'll start tugging at myself. I'll start adjusting myself, and I won't know why. That's why, because I know that maybe if I close my jacket, I can hide the shirt that's not in my palette, or I'm wondering, why am I looking so tired? It's because your brain is looking down, picking up shadows, putting them right on your face, even though you spent a lot of time with the concealer that morning. They're still there. I mean, that is the bottom line. You will feel better about yourself, and you may not even know why.
Now, speaking of the science for this, if you would like a custom color portfolio done, we would be happy to do that for you. Links are down in the description below. If we've talked about them before, we look at your photos, we look at your hair, your skin, your eyes. We create eye-enhancing shades, skin-enhancing shades. We create palettes for you that's strictly based off, even if you don't fall in the light to deep category, you fall in the medium category. You don't fall warm or cool, you fall right in between and balanced.
And hair-enhancing.
Yes, if you're not soft, if you're not clear, you're right in the middle. We have created those palettes. Of course, they're not regularly available because apparently in color analysis, there is no such thing as being a medium-haired person or a balanced person. But of course, we create custom palettes.
Isn't that funny that color analysis, they make you decide. They make you decide, are you light or are you deep? Because if you're in the middle, you don't count. Or are you warm or are you cool? And if you're right in the middle, poof.
That's why we're here at the end of the day. So I'm glad that it did not include that, because we wouldn't be as excited to be here and telling you all of our color analysis secrets.
And de-stress you.
Yes. Thank you for joining us today. If you would like to follow us on Patreon or on our socials, links are at the end of the video or down in the description below. So lastly, I'm Sarah.
I'm Lucinda.
This has been another color class, and we'll see you in our next video.